Most students at the beginning of a new school year face transitions. And for kids in foster care, they might be juggling even more, including meeting members of a new host family. Carolee McGrath spoke with Jennifer Pierce, who leads the Center for Human Development's foster care unit, and Yamilca Nogue, who finds homes for these children, about these transitions and their impacts.
You know, foster youth really experience a lot of emotions that the typical child would feel. With starting a new school, they may be nervous, they may be excited, there could be some trepidation. It's really a wide range of emotions.
And how do you work with the school district as that child enters school? I'm sure the foster family is the big component in that, but how do school districts respond when you have kids in new situations?
Well, usually very favorably. Our caseworkers as well as our foster parents work very, very closely with schools. And that might include going out to schools before the school year even starts to meet with teachers so that kids can get an idea of what the school looks like and where their classroom will be. And then it continues throughout the year, whether it be emails between foster parents and teachers, or some of our kids actually have a logbook that they write in. The teacher writes in at school, and then they bring the book home for the foster parents. And that really helps the foster parents and the teachers stay connected. Because what we want for our foster kids to feel is that there's a team behind them, supporting them.
Okay, and when you talk about foster parents, I know that that's your job to recruit foster parents. Tell us a little bit about the process and the need, for more people to fill this role.
Well, foster parents are definitely a part of that team that Jennifer just mentioned. They're a huge part of that team. There is no perfect home. There is no perfect family. There's not a perfect time. CHD is recruiting foster families 24 hours a day, every single day of the year. We are in need of a home who can provide for our foster children, especially a safe home, and who can be there when foster children experience those emotions that Jennifer just mentioned. Like our own children, we welcome them to the house in the afternoon. We always want to ask them, how was your day? Anything new? Just someone there for them. That's what CHD is looking for.
And what's the process? If somebody is interested but they're not sure and they kind of wanted more information, what's the process?
It is a lengthy process just because we want to make sure we are opening a home that is adequate to work with these kids. It starts off with an application, then in a homefinder will get assigned to that application, and they will do an initial visit. In that initial visit, we will talk about not only what their interests are. This may include what sex would they like, what age. We would also describe what the foster care program does, the support that they will receive as foster parents, which is a whole lot. Right. And that's how the process basically starts. We go from there until they're ready to open up their homes as foster parents.
And how do you help kids as far as when they are placed in a new home, for example? Mm-hmm. I know a lot of times it's not clear, the length of stay. Mm-hmm. How do you help kids manage that uncertainty?
Sure. What we really focus on is the here and now with the kids. So as Yamilca was saying, that really means checking in with the kids on a daily basis. How are things going? What's new? And they know that things can change. Foster youth are pretty used to the changes that occur when they're in foster care. So we really encourage them to really focus on what's happening here and now, and what they can do to really meet their goals.
Do you still encourage them, I'm sure, to sign up for chorus or, try out for the soccer team and all of those activities, that other kids are doing that keeps them kind of connected to the school community and maybe the town that they're in?
Absolutely. One of the things that makes CHD foster care so special is that we have a fund called Mary Ann's Kids. And that fund is really devised so that kids in care can take part in the activities that other children take part in every day. So whether that means extracurricular activities of sports or key club or maybe piano lessons, something that the child really is interested in. And we really encourage that because it really works to boost self-esteem. Right. And help the kids develop social skills and feel connected to their community and to make new friends.
And tell me a little bit about when you're dealing with foster parents, you know, the length of stay could be really short, it could be really long, and I'm sure there are people who become attached. They're taking them to piano, they're picking them up from school, they're buying them, new clothes. How do you help those parents, foster parents, navigate those feelings that they might have, especially if the child is then placed back with mom and dad?
Yes, so on CHD foster care program, we provide a lot of training for our foster parents. I think some of those feelings come from being human.
Impossible to stop, right?
Yes, it's impossible to not feel, the loss, the grief of a child that has been in your home for a year, 2 years, and all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. Right. Of course, that's gonna, affect that. We want to provide as much support as we can to our foster parents. We recently had a conference that was about grief and loss. We had a ton of foster parents. It was great. When that happens, we want our CHD caseworkers, we want our home finders to be there for them, right. Follow up. Hey, how are you feeling? We try our best to provide as much support as we can because we understand that it's a grief process.
Right, and not everybody is going to be able to be a foster parent, right? So how else can the community, the wider community, help? And you were mentioning Mary Ann's kids, but I know that they have several different, fundraisers throughout the year. How can the community help?
Yes, I think, like Jennifer said, Mary Ann's kids is something that makes our program truly special. It makes us unique. Mary Ann's kids, like Jen mentioned, provides opportunities for kids in foster care that otherwise they wouldn't have. It makes them almost feel like they're not a foster child. You could do what other kids do. It's okay. We're going to support you in that. We do have a lot of fundraisers throughout the year. We've already are planning our Stepping Out Dinner Dance in April. That's going to be next year, 17th annual Stepping Out Dinner Dance. But not only that, Mary Ann's Kids also allows us to do other stuff. For example, Christmas. Christmas is huge at CHD. It really is big. All of our foster kids do a wish list. It could be one item. It could be 3 pages. 100 items, we get all sorts of wish lists with all sorts of wishes. We have a lot of people who support us with that, a lot of people out in the community who want to grab a wish list, or maybe they just want to have someone who they're connected to, their church, they get together, they do a wish list, they might do a giving tree. We also do our Christmas party sponsored by Pride. That happens in December. That's huge. All of our foster families are there having a great time. Santa Claus pictures, presents. It's fabulous. And recently we started doing a field trip to Bright Nights. And again, all of our foster families go on a bus. It's so much fun. Yeah. A lot of staff come also, and we have a great time. So those are just, some of the wonderful things that Mary Ann's Kids does for our children and our foster families.
So through the years, have you had kids who've, aged out of the system, called you and said, hey, just checking in, I'm at UMass, or yes. I'm married with babies?
Yes. Absolutely, yes. I've actually been working with CHD for 20 years. So I actually have contact with a lot of different kids that have come through the system that are adults now that, like you said, are in school or have their own families. And it's really nice to see the growth and the changes that they've made in themselves and just to see where they're at today. It's wonderful.